Hey guys, so today I'm going to be starting my makeup collection series. I'm going to be breaking this makeup collection down into different videos of like different categories. So today we're going to be working on base products. So I have primers, foundations, concealers, and powders all in front of me, and that is what we are going to be talking about today. I will be putting in a clip right here of where I store all of these items. So here's that clip. So here is the overview of where I keep most of my makeup. I also have these 3 drawers filled. This is all of my makeup. This is primers, mascaras, and a bunch of random tools. And then these 2 are eyeshadow palettes. This one is all face palettes, and then also palettes that have eyeshadows and face products, and then also eyeshadow palettes that don't fit in the bottom drawer. And then on my desk, it does look a little chaotic just because I have so much stuff. I have my stuff I am project panning right here in this drawer, and then my Shop My Stash stuff is in this drawer. These are my items that I would like to pan eventually. These 2 are Project 5 Uses, and then I also have Project 5 Uses stuff shoved in all of the drawers as well as off to the sides. This is a lot of Project 5 Uses, my setting spray that I have out right now, and then a few random lip products and some brushes. I have my mirror with just a bunch of hair clips on it, my Pan Those eyeshadows, and then this is all Project 5 Uses palettes, and then my Pan That palette, my notebook that I keep track of everything, a few samples of makeup that I'm trying to use up. Up top on this shelf we have my liquid lipsticks, and then above I just have 3 of my Anastasia palettes because they don't fit in the drawer, and then some samples that I'm using up, and then some brushes that I don't really use but I thought it looked kind of cute there. And then coming across to this side, it is quite messy, but that is just where I keep all of my brushes. And then continuing across my room, I have setting sprays there, some more liquid lipsticks, some more liquid lipsticks over there, and my perfume collection right there. So it is a hot mess, but my room is pretty small, so that is just what I am working with. I will have a perfume collection video up as well. And then I also, under my desk, that's kind of where I keep empty products. This basket is more eyeshadow palettes that don't have a place yet because they don't fit. And then that's a thing of hair ties. Don't mind it. Again, my room's a work in progress. And then this basket is my basket of new stuff. And then in this Kylie bag is a bunch of lip products that I want to use up. So I will be going over everything eventually in collection videos, but today we're going to tackle face products. So we're going to be doing primers, foundations, concealers, and powders. So I'm going to give you just an overview of what it looks like, and then I'll bring it down to the floor and we'll talk about it there. I'm not going to go over anything in any of these drawers. I'm going to, you see this stuff in Shop My Stash, you see all this in my Project Pan, and you see all that in 5 Uses, and I will be doing a video of items that I would like to pan eventually. So you will be seeing all of that stuff eventually. Today we're just going to focus on these drawers. So my top drawer, you probably see this in my Shop My Stash. I will pull it out on the floor and go over everything individually, but that is an overview of what it looks like at the moment. And then in this top drawer is where I keep primers. Brace yourselves, this is a hot mess. So it's literally a catch-all. I have makeup wipes that I'm using right now. This is a container of tools, a bunch of tools here. I have unopened mascaras underneath all of that on that side, extra sponges, and extra cotton pads. And then when you get under that, there's the primers. So I will be taking this tray out so that we can go through all that individually, but that is just where I keep my primers because I'm usually just focusing on one or two at a time. So I will be taking all this stuff out and we will go over everything together. And let's just get right into it. So I'm going to be just going over everything that you just saw in these drawers and talk a little bit about each of the products. We will start with primers. I pulled out that tray of primers that I have in there, and let's start with samples in the back category. So we will start off with this. This is the Cover FX Illuminating Primer Base. I've used up a bunch of these in the past and I do really like this. I usually just focus on one or two primers at a time to finish up, and so far I've been working on my samples, so this will probably be coming up soon in a project pan once I finish up the one that I'm currently working on. So there's that guy, just a little baby guy. This usually take about 2 months of using every single day to use up, so they do last you quite a while. And then another sample I have is the Clarins SOS primer. I did talk about this briefly in a Project 5 Uses, so you can check out that video if you want to see more of my thoughts about this, but I did really like this primer as well. And same goes with this. This is the Clarins Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch Primer. This one is more of like a putty primer. It is a really cool texture, and I think it worked great as a primer, so there is that. I also have this little guy labeled primer. I just depotted this. I honestly don't remember where it came from, but this is like a silicone primer. I want to say that this was from Clinique because I do have a lot of Clinique stuff depotted, but we'll probably be using that up sometime again soon. And then lastly, I have a million of these. So this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. This takes me forever to use up. I'm currently working on one in my project pan at the moment. So I have another one of these, and then I also have 10 of them depotted in these little containers. So I just squeezed it out and put them in these containers, and I have 10 of these. I'm not going to pull them all out, but they really all are. So I hopefully run out of this, but it's going to take a very long time to use up all of this primer. I would say it's probably like the equivalent of like 2 to 3 full sizes of this product. But there we go. That is all the samples. Now let's get into the full size products. Starting off with this. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer from Milk Makeup, and that is what it looks like. I did feature this in a Project 5 Uses as well. I do really like this, but I haven't used it since using it in my Project 5 Uses. This worked really great at gripping onto foundation, and I did really like it. I also have the Touch in Sol No Problem Priming Essence. This is okay. It's definitely very liquidy, and I don't think it really did much, but it'll be something that is easy to use up. Again with Cover FX, this is the Cover FX Blurring Primer. I got this in a BoxyCharm as well as the No Problem Primer, and I do really like this product. It works great. I like all the Cover FX primers. They're all pretty basic, but I do really like them. I think they get the job done. Another BoxyCharm primer. This is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Luminous Primer. Honestly, I have not tried this yet, so I don't have anything to say about this. And let's do this last BoxyCharm primer. This is the Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. I do really like this. I like this a lot better than the Essence. This is pretty smoothing. It says it's supposed to be smooth and pore covering, but it doesn't feel silicone-y like the Smashbox one does, so I do really like this one. And then I have two e.l.f. primers. These are the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer and then the Tone Adjusting Face Primer. This one is like tinted purple a little bit. I'm not really sure if it does much difference than the original, but I do have both of these, and these will probably be put into a project somewhat soon because I don't think there's a ton left in either of those. And then my last primer I have right here is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and this is just a deluxe size, but again, this will take quite a while. I do like this product as well. So that is all the primers that I have in this drawer. I do obviously have more primers in other places that you'll see in different videos, but that is what we are currently going to be talking about today. We have foundations. So as you saw in my drawer, I have this drawer split up into foundations, concealers, and powders. So we're just going to jump in. On top, we have two of these Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Foundation with hyaluronic acid. I can never say that word. But yeah, you know what I mean. So I have the shade F6 and F3, and there you go. I haven't really used either of these too much, so I don't have many thoughts on that. And right next to that is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer, and this is in the shade Buttermilk. Have not really gotten a lot of use out of this guy. It is a little too dark for me, so I'll probably be focusing on this more in the summer. Next, I have the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous Fresh Complexion Foundation in the shade 115. I've used up about 3 of these, I think, and I do really like this foundation. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I do really like this one, so if you can't get your hands on it, this is a really good drugstore option. It's not too... This foundation isn't too, what's the word, like thick and cakey. It's pretty light, light coverage, but I think this works great for covering up redness. And then the next one I have is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. I got this off of HauteLook a while ago, so I'm not sure if they do still sell this, but I love this foundation. This gives you such a nice, healthy glow, while providing great coverage as well. But it doesn't feel too heavy at all. It's a nice lightweight. Next, we have my CoverGirl Outlast Stay Luminous Foundation. There is not much left. It's been laying on its side, but this was in my project pan last winter. I haven't reached for it since then, but I did really like this. It is more on the thick side compared to some of the other foundations that I did just talk about, but I think this works fine. I think it works great, and I will probably, again, try to work on using this up at some time. This is the AOA Studio Perfect BB Cream. Have not tried this yet, but I have heard great things, and this is from Shop Miss A. It's only $1. And then going along with tinted moisturizers, this is the Bye Bye, I guess this is a foundation. This is a Bye Bye Foundation Full Coverage Moisturizer in the shade Light Medium. I do really like this. I love the IT Cosmetics foundations, the Bye Bye Foundation and the CC Plus Cream. I have that in my Shop My Stash right now, but I do really like both of these. And another tinted moisturizer. This is the Bliss Just a Little Tint Oil-Free Tinted Moisturizer. This is okay. It's not the best, but I obviously have used up quite a bit of this, so I'll probably be focusing on this in the summer months. It has SPF 20, so that's nice. I like more of lightweight foundations, and then I'll add like concealer to like trouble areas. So I don't usually typically reach for full coverage foundations, as you can tell by what the majority of this is. But yeah, next I have the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Tinted Moisturizer in Fair. I did just recently try this in Project 5 Uses. It feels really thick and cakey, but then there's not really any coverage, so I don't really like this, but it has SPF 30. This will be fine in the summer when you don't need to wear like a full face of makeup. I was wearing this with powder, blush, highlight, bronzer, everything. So if you want to just wear this and only this will be great for like pool days or just like doing anything outside where you're not going to be wearing a full face of makeup, because then it feels really cakey. But I think if you were to like not do powder or anything else, this will be fine. And then I have two potted what are like compact foundations. This is the L'Oreal True Match foundation, and I used this in a Project 5 Uses, and then I just kept using it for a while, and I got pretty good use out of this. I do really like this foundation. It's just a little too dark for me right now, which is why I stopped using it, but I do really like that one. And then I also have the Marc Jacobs Marvelous Mousse, and I've used this a few times, but it's just a little too dark, so I need to be in like right in the middle of summer to be able to get good use out of this. Yeah, so hopefully I will be getting tan soon so that I can start wearing this guy. And then I just have a few foundation samples. I have the Clinique CC cream in a sample. I like to depot things into these little jars because I think it's just can be more convenient. And then I have 3 ABH foundation sticks that I put into little jars. There wasn't much left of like the foundation sticks, so I put them in here, and that's how we're going to be using them up. And you'll see more of these in my bronzer drawer when we get to bronzer. But that is everything for foundation, and now we'll move on to concealer. Okay, for concealer, that is in the middle section of this drawer. This also has color correcting products, which I don't really ever reach for, but I do have a few color correctors, so we'll go over those as well. But starting off right on the top, we have the Kat Von D Lock It Concealer. I do really like this. This is in my Shop My Stash pretty frequently because I do reach for this quite often. And then I have 2 more Kat Von D's. These 2 were sent to me with Influencer a while ago. These are the Kat Von D Liquid Lock It Concealer Cream, and I have 2 different shades. I like this for blemish coverage. I don't use this all over the face because it is pretty sticky, but I mean it works great for spot concealing. I have a backup of the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I just left it in the box for now, but I am currently using one up in my project pan, so that will probably get cracked open here soon. I have the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. There's not a lot left in here. You can see where there's like scraping, so we'll probably use this up in the summer because it is pretty dark for me right now. This is Light Medium Honey. And let's see, I have 2 more like wand concealers. We have the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I love this concealer. I've gone through a bunch of those. I use that all the time. I will use that all over my face. And then I also have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I also really like this. I just use this in the Project 5 Uses, and yeah, I really like this too. This one smells great, and I can't put my like finger on what it smells like. I know it smells like something, but I just can't like decide what it is. Let's see. Next we have 2 potted concealers. We have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Concealer in 3.0. This is way too dark for me. I got this at TJ Maxx thinking that it would match me fine, but it's just really dark. So I'm going to have to pull this out in summer and hopefully get some better use out of this. I don't think I've been able to use this I've just swatched it a few times to see if it was able to match me yet, but has not. And then along the same lines, this is the Fiona Styles Full Cover Perfect Finish Concealer in the shade 5. I bought this when it was, when Fiona Styles was leaving Ulta. I bought a ton of her stuff and haven't really touched most of it because they were so cheap. It was just kind of an impulse buy, but this hasn't been able to match me yet, so again, I'm going to try to pull this out in summer. We have two little sticky concealers. We have the Wet n Wild Coverall Concealer. I don't really like stick concealers, but there's something that I'm going to work through and try to use up. I won't be repurchasing any stick concealers, I don't think. And then I also have the Santee Concealer Super Smooth. Both of these were cheap. I'm sure they're both probably like $1. And then I have a concealer palette in here as well. This I think I got from Amazon probably back in the day, and that is what she looks like. I've not really gotten a lot of use out of any of these. I've used this one a few times, but other than that, I don't think I've really touched this. So I need to obviously pull this out and get some use out of it. That is it for concealers. I do have a few color correctors, so I just have from Shop Miss A. I have two, actually, I think they're all from Shop Miss A and then one from BoxyCharm. But these two are AOA Wonder Cover concealers. This one is white, which I use to mix with things that are too dark. Then I also have the green one, which is supposed to be good to conceal redness. I've used that quite a bit. I do really like this formula. I think I've used up the concealer that actually matched my skin, but I do like that formula. And then I have the Santee Super Blendable Concealer, and this is the purple shade, which I never have a use for the purple because I think purple is for dullness, right? So that's an extra step that I never use. And then I have two little palettes. This one is the Starry palette, and this again was from Shop Miss A, and just one of like every color. There isn't purple in here, but I have the purple stick. So if I ever feel like color correcting, I can pull out that guy, which I never do. And then I have from BoxyCharm the Bella Pierre Cosmetics. This is the Pro Concealer palette. This was in one of the first BoxyCharms that I got, and as a purple, a green, and an orange, which I think I've reached into the green, but I don't think I've used the purple or the orange. Again, I just don't really color correct at all. But that is everything that I have for concealers and color correctors, and now we will get into primers. So a majority of the powders that I have right now are loose powders because I prefer pressed powders, so I go through them quicker. But let's go through the three, actually, another one down here. Let's go through the pressed powders that I have first. This was from BoxyCharm. This is the Bare Minerals Invisible Light Powder Duo. I really haven't reached for this. I should probably pull this out in a Shop My Stash because it's always at the bottom, so I forget about it. But I do have that. And then along the same lines, I have the Hourglass Mini Powder in Dim Light. I've tried to use this up multiple times, but I kind of like just don't really know what to use it for. Besides, I do kind of use it all over my face. I wouldn't repurchase these powders just because I don't really have a use for them. I've heard the blushes are really good, so I would like to try those, but it's not in my budget, nor do I need more blushes. So I have two more pressed powders. I have the Marc Jacobs Golden Perfection Powder in Golden Fawn, and that is what this looks like. I have pretty good use in here. It's just too dark for me right now, so I'll probably work on this in the summer. And then I also have the Becca Mineral Powder Foundation in Sand. I love this powder. I've already used up the shade I have in Porcelain, but I don't think they sell this anymore. I got them off of HauteLook. So when this comes back on HauteLook, I will probably keep repurchasing this on HauteLook if they have it there. I do just really like this powder, and then it's like 12 bucks when it's on HauteLook, which is like the same price as drugstore now. But that's all I have for pressed powders right now, which is crazy because I prefer pressed powders. But I'm going to be using loose powders for a while since I need to use them up. So first we have this Bare Minerals Mineral Veil Finishing Powder. I have a bunch of these. I'm currently trying to use one up, but this one is in like a wheel. And then you turn it and it has a brush on this end. So it's supposed to like, the powder is supposed to go into the brush and then you just use it like that. The mechanism does not work, so I need to figure out a way of how to break this open and get the powder out. And then I will depot it, but I have yet to figure that out. So if you guys, I'll probably just have to snap this in half, honestly. But that's another day. That's a quarantine project that we can work on later. Let's see, let's find all the Bare Minerals. I'm currently using one up, and I've already used up a couple. I'm doing pretty good on them, actually. I have another little baby mini. This is in medium beige, so that I'll probably use up in the summer. And then I have this little guy in medium 10. Well, it's the full size, but there's barely any left, so this will get used up too. Some eyelash glue floating around here that I'm gonna throw in a different area. Okay, next we have some, let's see, I guess this is, yeah. Okay, so next we have the Pretty Vulgar face powder. This is the Powder Room in Matte About It. I don't think I've used this yet. Nope, still sealed. I got this in a BoxyCharm before I started Project 5 Uses, so this will probably get pulled into that once I go through my box of new stuff. I will be filming a what's in my box of new stuff at some point in this quarantine, so stay tuned for that. But I also have the Becca Soft Light Powder in Pink Haze. This is like a light pink setting powder. The packaging is so pretty. But I mean, my skin is pretty pink, so I don't really like to use a pink setting powder. So I probably shouldn't have bought that. It was from TJ Maxx, I think. I'll eventually get to that and use that up, but which is my goal for all my powders. I just like to use them up. I can go through powders pretty fast. I have a mini of the Becca Hydra Mist setting powder. I have a full size on my desk right now too. That I'm using in Project 5 Uses, but I also have a mini. I also have a mini of the Tarte Smooth Operator finishing powder. I think I've used one of these up before. It's okay. I don't like loose powder that much, honestly, and I have a ton of it. But yeah. Next I have the AOA Perfect Setting Powder, and this is $1 and it's just as good as any of the powders that I have. So if I want loose powder, that's, once I use them up, that's probably what I will buy. And I also have the Bad Habit Loose Setting Powder in the shade 3. This was from Shop Hush. This was in one of my Shop Hush hauls from like last summer. This, again, it's fine. I think I got this for really cheap when Shop Hush was like going out of business. So there is that guy. And then I have two Kat Von D powders. I have this one in the shade Golden, which is like straight up yellow. I mean, when I bought this, I think I got this at TJ Maxx. When I bought this, it didn't look as yellow as it is, but I'll find a way to use that up. And then I also have the Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Powder in Translucent. This is a huge little tub of powder that I got from Influencer. They sent me, I got this from Influencer. They sent me this powder with those 2 concealers and then a powder brush, I think. So there's that. And that is everything. That is all of my primers, my concealers, foundations, and powders that I have in this drawer. And yeah, I hope you like this video. I'm going to be going through all of my collection at some point. It would be way too long to go through everything in one video. This is already like a half-hour long, and it's just base products. So I wanted to do dedicated videos for each one so that I could go through everything that I have, because I know in my Shop My Stash, I'm just kind of looking through. I don't really talk about everything that I have individually. So I thought that this would be a fun little quarantine project to do. So I hope you guys like this video. Definitely stay tuned for more. My next one will be this drawer, which is eyeliners. What else is in here? Single eyeshadows, eyeliners, and eye primers, I think. So that will be next. I'll probably film that one today too. I don't have much going on. But yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next video.